Giordano and the Nighthawks.
1, 2, 1, 2. Name the song is Dinah, name the song is Dinah, name of the song is Dinah Lee. Is there anyone finer? State of Carolina, there is, then you know her, sure to me, Dinah. Dixie eyes blazing, love sitting gazing in the eyes of Dinah Lee. Now every night, why do I shake with fright? Cause my dynamite change her mind about oh, Dinah, she wanted to China. She'd want to hear Mark Loban blow the saxophone. Welcome to Birdland. We're so happy you're here. I'm so happy that these guys are here too. We're the Nighthawks, music of the 1920s and 30s, and I'm your band leader for this segment of the program until the right guy comes along. And my name is Vince Giordano. Oh, this is so sudden. Anyway, we opened up with a little fanfare that we do on every show. It's called the Universal Pictures Fanfare from 1936, written by the great Jimmy McHugh, who decided to write something different. And we needed something to get everyone's attention and something for our wonderful percussionist who brings a timpani on the F train every week. And that's Paul Wells back there. It's gonna rain. And then we segued into a tune that was introduced by Ethel Waters back in 1926 called Dinah. And as you could tell, the tempo got a little faster over the years from Ethel Waters. That's the kind of the Louis Armstrong tempo, sort of, you know, in that way. And we had the multi-talented there on trombone, Sam Chess. Sam Chess. Yeah, old kind of solo. Hey, Sam, at one point your trombone sounded a little different. Is that a new trombone you're playing?
No, it was not a new trombone.
What? So, what was you doing? The megaphone. Can you show the folks the megaphone? Oh man! Wow. So, what happens if you don't use the megaphone in that section?
Yeah, for reference, without it, it's like...
Yeah. Oh, no, don't do that. Okay, thank you, Sam Chess. That is all. All right, and then we had some wonderful tenor sax playing there by Mark Lopan on the tenor. Yay! A little bit of clarinet there by Will Henderson. Give him a nice hand. There you go. Andy Stein on that little short violin part. Yeah. And playing that hot trumpet, you're going to hear a lot of them tonight. That's great John Eric Kelso. Yeah. Oh wow, man, this is a great crowd we have tonight. You guys are so ready to party, as we are too. And we also have a wonderful audience out there in Radio Land at Radio Free Birdland. And I hope you're tuning in and listening and make some nice comments. It's on YouTube, and every Tuesday at 5:30 when we do this show, we broadcast. So the cameras are rolling, microphones are all warmed up, and we got a great in-house audience here. So from West 44th Street in New York City, Birdland, here we are. Thank you. All right, moving right along, we're going to play a tune that Duke Ellington did in his early Cotton Club years. It's called the Harlem River Quiver, and this was written by Dorothy Fields and Jimmy McHugh. It was part of one of the shows that Duke did at the Cotton Club. And here it is. This is the Harlem River Quiver. 1, 2, 1, 2. Duke Ellington back in 1927 or so. More Sam Chess there. Joe Boga on those nice little riffs there. And the baritone sax parts were done by Will Anderson. Now, I do most of the talking, as you can tell here, but I like to let the guys do some talking too. They have things that they do on the outside, very creative things, and I call it the sort of like the Nighthawk Home Shopping Network channel. And the first person that we're going to have to step up here, or spokesman for his art and his craft, is Will Anderson.
All right. Thank you, Uncle Vince. Well, I did want to mention that tonight we have a merch cart right out in the front, and for sale this evening, hot off the press, I have my brand new book that I just released a few months ago. It's called Songbook Summit, 15 Pioneers of American Sound, and it's got the life stories of many of the great composers and jazz musicians, many of which Vince will be mentioning tonight. They include Duke Ellington, Benny Goodman, George Gershwin, Henry Mancini, and Lady Gaga? No, that can't be right. Anyway, check it out up front. Also, myself, along with my identical twin brother Pete, will be leading a show coming up on May 8th at Symphony Space. We'll be presenting all the music of Irving Berlin, so come check that out if you can. And the reason I lead my own band is because with this band, I never know if I'm going to get fired.
Wow. Don't worry, everything's good. All right, we're going to go back to 1926 right now and play a song that many bands played. This one, we're going to look at the King Oliver Dixie Syncopators from 1926. This tune was written by a guy named Fred Rose. Fred Rose was a Chicagoan who played the piano and sang, and he had a hot radio show and wrote some neat tunes like Deed I Do. And this one is called Deep Henderson. As I said, it was played by the King Oliver Ensemble. And Fred Cook later left the Chicago area and went down to get involved in the country music business down in Nashville, and made a lot more money than he did with jazz. But he did what he could. Here it is, Deep Henderson. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Henderson. That was deep, man. Okay. That had nothing to do with Fletcher Henderson. I think it must be like a deep river or creek or something. Anyway, it was arranged originally by a guy named Doc Cook. Doc Cook, who had a wonderful band in Chicago, and wrote stock arrangements now and then, and that's a transformed stock arrangement that we worked on. Joe Boga featured on the trumpet there. There you go. Nice. All right. I'm going to go out to the West Coast now. We were in New York, we're in Chicago. Now we're going to go out to Culver City, California, right outside of Los Angeles. there was a place there called the Cotton Club, another cotton club, the Frank Sebastian Cotton Club. And it was really a couple blocks away from MGM Studios and Hal Roach Studios. And a lot of those stars would come out there and party with a band called Paul Howard and his Quality Serenaders. So I'm giving you a lot of facts here because there's going to be a little quiz at the end of this, and the person who gets the most answers right will get a free drink from me. I'm buying water tonight. Terrible. Anyway, this tune, it was called Charlie's Idea. Charlie Lawrence was the lead alto sax man and also wrote the arrangements and a lot of the tunes. And it was very influenced by Louis Armstrong. Louis Armstrong played on this tune called Hotter Than That. Hotter Than That. And on the chorus that Louis scatted, the trumpet player in the band, a guy named George Arndorf, was so taken by it that he memorized and copied Louis Armstrong's vocal chorus and did it on the trumpet. It's kind of a complicated thing, but people were copying solos as far as back as the 1920s. They were doing it. It was an homage, as I would say it, and it was George Arndorf. The star of the band was Lionel Hampton, who played the drums there and sang a little bit, and of course the second star was a guy named Lawrence Brown, who played the trombone, and he played in that band until Duke Ellington heard him and then quickly stole him away. Lawrence Brown couldn't make it tonight. Yeah, couldn't make it tonight, but we got Sam Chess in his place, and his whose mom is here tonight. Hello, Mrs. Chess, how are you? All right, so here it is. It's called Charlie's Idea. It's sort of Tiger Rag sideways. 1, 2, 1, 2. lot of notes. Sam Chess there, doing that wonderful Lawrence Brown solo. Man, oh man, woo, that was brilliant. And we had a little bit of Dan Levinson there on the alto sax. Yeah, that's good. We'll get him to talk a little later. But the guy I want to talk to right now is a guy who played that wonderful George Orendorff / Louis Armstrong solo on his wonderful trumpet there, and that's John Eric Kelso. Yeah, give him the mic and see what happens.
Thanks, Vince. So in addition to playing here every Monday and Tuesday, I have a steady on Sundays at a place called the Ear Inn, which is one of the oldest bars in New York. And we've had this gig there for almost 18 years now. And playing at the Ear Inn, naturally we call the band the Irregulars. And so we have a live at the Ear Inn CD that's available right in the back there on the merchandise table. Thank you.
Thank you, John Kelso. Oh, man. All right. Well, one of the Nighthawk policies is we take requests, but we don't play them. But occasionally we break the rules. And here's a wonderful tune that was recorded by the great McKinney's band. McKinney's had a fantastic band in Detroit, Michigan. That's where John Kelso came from, around that area. And he actually got a chance to work with some of the guys in the McKinneys. Of course, John was really young and these guys were kind of old. But anyway, so it's called I'll Make Fun for You. And we're going to hand this one out because we had a request for it. And here it is. Now you guys got to open it up and flip it over. Saxophones, are you ready? All right, not bad, not bad. Let's see now. Let's see. There was a drum part here someplace. Hold on here. Here it is, drum part. Okay. I'll make fun for you. And now I got to get it over to the West Coast over here. You can send this media mail. Oh man, I hope that didn't get to your makeup there, Eddie. Oh, I'm just kidding. All right. The original singer was a guy named George Thomas. George Thomas, very popular. He even got a label credit. All right. Does everyone have the right part? It's 10X, right? 10X. I'll make fun for you. 1930. Good luck, everybody. Good luck to me, too. Whatever. 1, 2, 1, 2. Should we put that one in the book? Okay, guys, put it in the book. That was transcribed by our good friend from the Czech Republic, Mr. Jan Stolbe. Jan Stolbe, if you're tuning in, thank you. I don't know how to say thank you in Czech, but if I could, I would. We're going to slow things down right now and play something that Louis Armstrong made famous. We do this on every show. I know some people out there who watch our broadcast say, why, they're going to play this again? Yeah, because I got a brand new audience here who I don't think has heard any of these things, at least by us. This was a tune that was originally recorded and composed by King Oliver. We talked about King Oliver a couple of tunes back. He was a man from New Orleans. He played the cornet, the trumpet. He organized wonderful bands. He was a composer, and he was the man responsible for getting Louis Armstrong to leave New Orleans and join him in Chicago, and they made those historic records at Jeanette in the early 20s. When Louis went on his way, he was very grateful for Joe Oliver. He called him Papa Joe, and Papa Joe gave Louis a lot of great lessons in life and a lot of great musical ideas, too. So here's the West End Blues featuring John Kelso. Those clarinet megaphones. Oh, man. Hey! That's Peter Yaron doing the Father Hines solo, or the Father Hines. Give him a nice hand. Yeah. All right, John. Yes. Okay. Sam Chester on the trombone. And how about the magic of the megaphones? The magic of the megaphones. There they are. There you go. Okay. They weren't on the original date. We like to do it just for this arrangement so it, people say, wow, that's different. So don't you go home and have any nightmares about them. That's all. That's it. Peter Yaron playing that wonderful piano solo done by Earl Father Hines. That was hard. That was great. And we shouldn't forget our wonderful percussionist who normally plays real big things like timpani and chimes and things like that. He's got this little set of baccarat box cymbals, just like the ones that Zooty Singleton used to have on the original recording date. And here they are. Play a little Zooty for him. Wow. All right, that's enough. That's enough. Once he gets started, he can't stop. That's Paul. Paul back there. Paul Wells. All right. People have been asking me for years, when are you going to What's that? I thought someone's... Huh? It's a cough. Oh, that was a cough. I respond to anything. I respond to anything. Here, boy, on the paper. Anyway, if someone's... That's a dog joke. Anyway, sorry about that. The comedy writers are coming back soon. We've been asked to record this, and we did. We actually did record that wonderful West End blues that you just heard, and you can take this home with you. Of course, you got to pay for it. And it, like I said, it looks like an LP and feels like an LP. But the truth be known, it's recorded at 78 RPM. What? Yeah, I know it shocks me too, but this is the modern world, and it goes down, and the music goes down and around, and goes real fast. Anyway, so if you have 3-speed turntable, make sure that this is okay to buy. If not, you're going to have some complications. Wait for my cue. These guys are so anxious to play. Because if you put the record on and you only have 33 or 45, it's going to sound really slow. No, do it. Nice, okay, good. Okay, so there you go. That's what happens. Because when I try to play that record at 33, it's not good. We're going to play one of the strangest tunes in our book. This was written by a pianist and bandleader, a guy named Joe Sanders. And Joe Sanders came from Kansas City, and he got a little duo together right after about World War I with Carlton Coon. And Carlton played the drums, and they had a little entertaining. They sang in harmony. They were great. As the 20s moved on, they decided to grow, and from a small combo, and they had a big orchestra. And they were the original Nighthawk Orchestra. That's where we got the name. And the story is that they try to keep people up late at night, to 1 or 2 o'clock. Now, these Nighthawks, if we could keep people up till like 10 o'clock, we're lucky. And we've just been cut back to 9:45, so there you go for our second show. So I know, time moves on. Anyway, this is a crazy song with some interesting notes done by Joe Boga. These have come off the original transcription that a trumpet man named Bob Pope wrote or played. And it's called Roodles. And if this makes any sense to you, I'll buy you a drink too. Let me get a little glass of water here. 1, 2, 1, 2. Is that that's one of the crazier tunes in our book. Joe Boga there, creating all that wonderful jazz novelty, and good to have Peter Yaron and on the piano and Paul Wells recreate the original Coon Sanders duo there with piano and drums. That's probably what they sounded like in the early days. Yeah, and who could forget? Who could remember Andy Stein's wonderful vocal there? Man, oh man. Where did you learn to sing like that? Don't answer it. That's right. That's okay. It's very good. Keep it in the act. Keep it in the act. Okay, Roodles. All right. Well, let's see now. I think it's time to put the scores away right now. Oh, I forgot to mention, we're also selling jazz-age sheet music over there. We have some in the back. Yeah, it's true. This is When It's Sleepy Time Down South. There's a wonderful picture of Mildred Bailey. That's Al Rinker's sister. And this is Louis Armstrong's great theme song. So there, we got lots of that stuff back there. So, and autographs are free on that, whatever. Okay, there you go. All right, well, I think it's time to put the scores away, and we're going to play some old-time traditional jazz and give these guys a little break. And John Kelso, what do you want to play? The Jazz Me Blues. All right, this is a good one, written by Tom Delaney. Tom Delaney. He wrote some other blues or pop tunes in the early 20s. This is probably his most famous, and a lot of bands played it. I like the Bix version of it, but Fletcher Henderson had a great version of it too. Jazz and Joe Venuti. On and on and on. Enough. Jazz Me Blues. 1, 2, 1, 2. Play one more, Mike. I'm just gonna do one, Mike. Andy Stein. Thank you. Paul Wells. Yeah, ready. Nice. Oh man, that's the Jazz Me Blues. Wow, what a number, what a number. Are you folks having a good time so far? Okay, so are we. All right, that's Sam Chess there on the trombone, John Kelso on the trumpet, Dan Levinson on the clarinet. Yeah, give him a nice hand. Dan Levinson, so good to see you. So good to hear you. Yes, yes. I know you have something to say, too, for the Nighthawks Home Shopping Network. So give it a spiel.
Well, since we just played a Bish Beiderbecke number, Jazz Me Blues, that is featured on our Bish Beiderbecke tribute album.
Yeah.
It came out originally for Bish's Centennial in 2003. Just been reissued with additional material that wasn't on the original issue. Beautiful full black and white booklet on the inside, and very nicely done. John is playing on that, and Vince, and we also did a tribute to Frank Teschmacher and Eddie Condon and all the great Chicago jazz pioneers, the Austin High Gang, and that is also available on vinyl and CD next to the 8-track tapes, the cassettes, and a nice assortment of watercolors and finger paintings. Thank you.
Dan Levinson, all right. Look at that. And in this big band, you don't get too many solos for the guitar, the banjo. Not because I do that, just the way it was back in those times. But in our trad jazz numbers, we always feature a banjo solo. And we happen to have a wonderful banjo player and guitar, and also a beautiful banjo, too. Let's have a big hand for Arndt Arnson, and let's hear what he has to say.
Thank you very much. I do have a very brief kind of personal announcement to make, which is that I just became a father for the first time.
Man! Every week, man. Look at this. Awesome. Okay.
Thanks very much. So, to help pay for my rapidly expanding family, I am also hawking albums and CDs in the back. I got an album, an LP called Keep Your Sunny Side Up, and I also have a CD by the same title, just a different format. And they're sold with a guarantee, which is that if you take the album home and you listen to it and you don't really like it, well, you could just send it back to me, and then I'll send you an album that I don't like.
Oh, man.
Thanks very much, folks.
Sounds like a good deal. All right. our next person to talk about, he doesn't have anything to sell or any social statements, not yet. But he plays some great piano, and occasionally he likes to get up and have a little whirl on the celeste or the celeste, a classical instrument, but he does wonders with it. Let's give a hand to Peter Yaron and let him play something. He's got something new, I'm told, tonight to play. Yeah, man. Peter, was that Ferdy Grofet that you played? It sounded like Ferdy Grofet to me. Ferdy visits me in my dreams, and he wrote the Grand Canyon Suite. That was from that. And usually Ferdy says, "Vince, stop." But anyway, I continue. And I guess nobody cares about Ferdy Grofet, but I do. And the next soloist was yours truly here on this very cumbersome instrument to play. And I thank you for your kind applause. It's very nice. Thank you. No, it's okay. I always say, I hope you have drink in hand, because the more you drink, the better it sounds. And the more I drink, the better I think it sounds. Let's try. How sweet it is, as Jackie Gleason used to say. Back there playing the timpani and that wonderful solo, a man who's traveling all around when he's not playing with the Nighthawks. He's doing recording dates and things with Twyla Tharp, and Curtis Steiger puts him on the road occasionally, and that's Paul Wells back there on the drums. Yeah! And finally, the last guy in this little segment of solos of trad jazz, the guy you've heard many years on the radio, on recordings with his violin or his saxophone, his compositions. He's worked with Garrison Keillor, Bob Dylan. He's in that new movie, by the way. Sir Paul McCartney, Asleep at the Wheel. Remember him at the Sleep at the Wheel? That's Andy Stein on the phono fiddle, the Stroh violin. Yay! Okay. All right. So I could go on and tell you this and tell you that, but I'd like to tell you that I hope that you check out this free magazine, which is on our merch table. We have some back issues. Or you people out there in broadcast land will pick up this magazine. It's called The Syncopated Times. And it's the only magazine out there, or paper, whatever you want to call it, that talks about ragtime and early jazz, syncopated jazz, early swing. And there's people here like us playing this, and it does some nice historical things too. And I have an ad in there that talks about our Birdland gig, which is here Mondays and Tuesdays, and it's got the times of Monday 5:30 and 8:30, and we have a nice picture here, and also it doesn't mention our broadcast. Now that's inside the magazine. Now this card is very useful. It's like what we call on the net a hack. You know, it's like a different thing to make your life a little better. So like when you're eating breakfast in the morning, and I have problems with cereals, cold cereal. They fly all out of my bowl. My cat Buddy likes it, but I got to scoop it up. So I use my card here. You scrape it like that. Or you could jazz up your dull bathroom or your dull refrigerator. You could flip it over. Or the best thing here to do with it is to buy Will's book, hint, hint, and you'll have a bookmark. So let's see if we can get the bookmark inside the book. All right. All right, we did it. We did it. Oh man. Let me say, Will and I went for brunch on Sunday, Easter Sunday, and we were at our favorite brunch spot. It was called IHOP. You know, IHOP, that's a good place for rabbits. And we practiced that all day, and it worked out. There you go. All right, usually at this juncture, I look out and I don't see anything because it's everything's nice and dark. But I know there's faces out there. Anyway, I'm going back to Hollywood. Does anybody know who he's talking about? No. Does anybody have a request out there? An old song they'd like to hear? Request time is over. That's it. This is fast in New York. What, did someone say something? Do you know what it means to miss New Orleans? Yeah, we do have it in the book. Okay. request time is now over, but we're going to dig this one out for you. Hold on. Here you go. You need the bells? Okay. This was written by Louis Alter and Eddie DeLange, and it comes from the United Artists picture, New Orleans. And here it is. So let's take the second ending, because we won't have too many people dancing there. 1, 2, 1946, go. Is that the one you wanted? We don't know that one. We don't know that one. Okay. Okay. Very nice. Well, let's see. Let's go way back now, way back to 1924. And this is an interesting little song written by W.C. Handy. W.C. Handy was the father of the blues. He wrote the St. Louis Blues, the Basin Street Blues, the couple more 100 blues that he did. But this one kind of broke the mold. This was called the Gouge of Armour Avenue. And the Gouge was a person, from what the research that Phil Schaap found out, and yours truly, was sort of a fella that, like your landlord, and all of a sudden the rent just doubled, so he's a gouge. He gouged you. And this originally came out in 1924. Charlie Green was the trombone soloist on that, and it made such an impression on a young up-and-coming trombone player, a guy named Dickie Wells, who made a big name for himself in the 1930s, recorded it as symphonic scrunch. He copied the same notes, note for note. It's amazing. The other crazy thing, I'm giving him a few minutes here, is that Fletcher Henderson's drummer, for whatever reason, switched to the washboard and we just happen to have a washboard laying in the back, and Paul's getting all gloved up. Take a look at those gloves there. It's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. He's got thimbles on his gloves. But I want to let you know that this is a special washboard. It is a Stradivarius washboard, and it's only made for playing jazz. You can't play Mozart or Brahms or Beethoven on it. No. Here it is, the Gouge of Armour Avenue. Get funky, boys. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably one of the few bands playing that song on West 44th Street right now. Welcome to all you people out there. Sam Chess there on his beautiful trombone. And give the folks a little, he's putting it away now, that great washboard, the washboard. Put it back in its case, all right? It'll come back later. And John Kelso there. Hey, we haven't played any swing music for you. And here's a wonderful tune that originally came out as a classical piece. It was Mr. von Weber's Invitation to the Dance. And you say, oh man, where's he going now? I don't know where I'm going, but I'm on my way. That's one of my biggest idols. Stymie used to say that. And this was adapted by a guy named George Bassman, who was a great composer and arranger. And he worked with many different orchestras, but he did this with Benny Goodman, and became Benny Goodman's theme song, and for many years you could hear this on the radio, wafting over the airs. And our good friend Peter Anderson, brother of Will Anderson, made this possible for us to play. One. Yes.
A little bit of useless information.
Yes.
The first chorus was arranged by George Bassman.
Oh.
The rest was arranged by Fletcher Henderson.
I see. I stand to be corrected. Okay. Thank you very much. So, I don't want to be up on some libels thing, Thank you. So George Bassman and Fletcher Henderson worked on this at separate times. So, Man, I could just see the lawyers come into my house. Mr. Giordano, you lied to the American public. 1, 2, 1, 2. Henderson. In there on that wonderful Let's Dance, and Will Anderson playing the alto sax. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm sorry to say we've run out of time for this set. Yeah, I know. It went fast, and this was really great experience working with you people here. And we've never met before, at least most of you, and when I came through the door, I knew it was going to be a special night. So I just want to say, of all the audiences that we've played for in the last 40 plus years, you, and especially you over there, are our most recent. And we appreciate that. There you go. And if you can fake sincerity, you got it all planned. We want to thank you for coming to Birdland, world's greatest jazz nightclub. When you come to New York, all you folks out there, please check out Birdland, because we have these wonderful brochures on the table that list all the great acts that are coming here. And this wonderful place has been going on for 75 years now, and we're very humbled to be part of the legacy of what goes on in Birdland, what continues to go on in Birdland. And we got to support live music. And I just want to do my little speech, as I do every show, that if you can, try to introduce some young folks to live music. Some concerts in the park, some Broadway shows, cabaret, jazz, hey, even a rock and roll band, as long as they're live music and not pushing a button. So I get off my soapbox. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, man, live music's where it's at. We're going to take a break and come back for our second show, but before we do that, we're going to play you a hot number that not too many bands recorded. I think Ted Lewis recorded this, the version of it. It's written and arranged by a guy who was a ranger for the old days, a guy named Jimmy Dale. Jimmy Dale. And we're going to play a little faster, as we normally do, than Ted Lewis. And it's called Rhythm. And Rhythm saved the world, and you save us. We'll see you soon. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Giordano and the fabulous Nighthawks. It's Giordano's Nighthawks. And as Vince mentioned, the Nighthawks are here every Monday and Tuesday night at 5:30 and 8:30. Be sure to visit Carol's CD cart at the podium. We have CDs, LPs, and a wonderful book available. We do have one show coming up at 8:30 for those of you staying with us. Please inform your hosts. For those of you leaving, we want to thank you for spending your evening with us and arrive home safely.